more outrageous than anything you've ever said.
It can't be.
Without a doubt.
That is on a completely different level.
Without a doubt. Stevie, come on.
It's the way I feel, guys. I'm going to stick by it.
This is Park the Bus with Steven Caldwell, Kevin Kilbane and Luke Wileman.
Welcome into Graham Leggett's for Park the Bus. What an episode we have this week. Cyle Larin is coming on the show a little later on. We'll also be rating the new Canada World Cup jerseys.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing them.
I'm really looking forward to that one, yeah.
And we've gone all out in terms of the decorations for St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day,
Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day to you guys and to everybody listening
What
as well.
a day.
Yeah.
It's so nice, I think, as an Irishman when you come to Canada, and it's as big as it is over in Ireland as well. So it's nice. It's nice.
We got one banner anyway. We got one banner.
One banner behind us. Looks good.
But the St. Patrick's Day parade in Toronto, which I missed yesterday, but my cousin was over.
Yeah.
She lives in Markham, so she was at it, and she was telling me how great it was to be downtown
Bit
yesterday.
cold downtown yesterday.
Yeah.
Your best St. Patrick's Day story?
When I was living in Ireland.
Yeah.
You see, in Ireland, we have a St. Patrick's Day Eve, which is the best day in the world ever. So on the day before St. Patrick's Day is just what a night, which obviously finishes...
Leads into the next day.
It leads into St. Patrick's Day, and then we get up the following day, and then you go again. So,
awesome.
Yeah, that was in Dublin, yeah.
Just before we get into any of the stuff that happened over the last few days, one comment that you say some outrageous stuff at times.
No, I don't.
But he's usually... Today... He said that he would rather win an Oscar than a World Cup. Rather win an Oscar than a World Cup leading actor.
He's listening to
I know, it's
he's listening
poor, isn't
to
it?
people
It's
saying
poor.
things
It's
before
poor.
we start.
That's what you
But
said.
I'll back it up.
No,
He'd
rather win an Oscar than a World Cup.
No, he said he'd rather win an Oscar above any accolade, any award.
An award.
In the world.
An award, for sure. Watching the Oscars on Sunday night, I love the Oscars. Love it. I love it.
Shows you as a man, this, by the way.
I loved the Oscars when I was...
Materialistic man like yourself.
It's materialistic to want to win an Oscar, to want to be at the awards. It's like the most famous award show in the world.
Oh, mate, Stevie.
It's incredible.
It's not.
So go on.
And you see the emotion, you see the way that... I know
There's emotion if you win the Golden Boot, the World Cup, Stevie.
Actors are incredible. They are emotional, but you can see the work that they've put in, and when they get there, it's such an emotional moment, and, you know, they're quite flamboyant people.
And the Irish on St. Patrick's Day are dominating the Oscars, which is even better as well.
You got one award.
Jessie Buckley. I don't follow the Oscars.
Jessie Buckley, great. I've not seen Hamnet. I want to watch that.
I can kind of see that it's Stevie's thing.
Yeah, I can.
He is a bit...
Carpet, you wear some nice gear.
Stevie, we're talking
Everyone looks glamorous. Then
You would...
a lifetime's work.
Above a World Cup.
I'm sorry, I love the Oscars. It's my dream to go to the Oscars.
A Nobel Peace Prize or something like that.
I mean, that would be great for
But you'd rather have an Oscar.
world peace or whatever,
Yeah.
but the Oscars for glamour is...
That says it all.
You can't
That
beat
is
the
more
Oscars,
outrageous
guys.
than anything you've ever said.
It can't be.
Without a doubt.
That is on a completely different level.
Without a doubt, Stevie, come on.
It's the way I feel, guys. I'm going to stick
Stevie,
by
the
it. I'm
Oscars
a big movies
especially
man. I love the movies. I always have.
In this day and age, the Oscars have no relevance, really. In this day and age, the way it's just gone, like, it's not even...
No relevance.
I've got no
No
problem.
relevance to you. There was 1 billion people watching the Oscars on Sunday night.
4 billion people watching a World Cup.
Excellent. I never argued it against the World Cup.
You said you'd rather win an Oscar.
No,
You said
excuse
above
me.
anything.
Excuse me.
And I said to you, above
anything.
a World Cup, and you went, yes.
Can I speak?
No.
Okay. This guy
Nonsense.
said the Oscars has got no relevance. 1 billion people watched it.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of relevance.
No.
All right? It's an amazing award show.
It's superficial.
And people
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
And people spend their entire life trying to get that award.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. I see the emotion.
I've got no problem with you
amazing.
enjoying it. It's
Thank
just
you.
the rather have that than a
Yeah.
World Cup.
Yeah.
It's like absolutely absurd.
It's been a dream of mine since I used to watch the Oscars when I was 8 and 9
I
years
could
old.
see you going into acting a bit of a Vinnie Jones, getting into it. I
Yeah,
could see
yeah.
that. Taking acting lessons, being a boy...
I should take some acting lessons,
I think you could
actually.
do that.
Yeah.
I do think
I used
that.
to love Vinnie Jones.
Did you?
Vinnie Jones, actually. He was
Sheffield United.
obviously the
Yeah.
hard guy. Wimbledon,
Sheffield
Leeds.
United.
I still love Vinnie Jones.
When he came to Sheffield United, he lived in Dronfield, which was where I grew up.
Oh, yeah.
Vinnie Jones. And every Friday night, he had a club-sponsored car. Did you ever have those cars with your name on the side?
No, not names.
I got offered one, but it was a different over. It changed because you would get charged on...
Yeah, to tax.
Tax,
So it was
tax was a killer
good to
for
get
it.
one.
He had Vinnie's Vauxhall, right? And every Friday night, before the match, he would be parked outside the chip shop.
Vinny's
He'd go
Vauxhall.
on the double yellow lines, pull up right outside the chip shop and go in and order his fish and chips and like his pre-match meal.
Yeah,
but just having him in the
You
village
have to
was...
love Vinny Jones.
Oh,
What
legend.
a character.
Yeah.
And actually, his acting career's been unbelievable
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
Anyway, I loved his game. He was my kind of a player.
Nah, I'm
He
not
was
so
my
keen
kind
on his
None of
game.
this
I just
silky,
admire what he
like,
did.
you know...
Yeah.
You talk about, some of the world-class players. Vinny Jones is right up there with him.
Ah, I don't know.
You have more affinity with Vinnie Jones than Lionel Messi, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Pretend hard man, Vinny, I would say.
Okay, so if someone
know about that.
if someone offered you, just the last thing on the Oscars thing, if someone offered you the chance to play a leading role in a movie, to trade your Scotland caps for that, would you would rather win an Oscar by lead?
That's a great
you'd
question.
trade away your Scotland caps to win an Oscar as a leading actor.
Oh, what a silly
Well, you just
question.
said more than anything.
No. I don't... Listen, guys, I don't
Yeah,
want
he
to
would.
change anything.
You
about
would.
He
it.
would. He just
No, I
doesn't want to
wouldn't.
say
I
it.
wouldn't.
You
I
would.
wouldn't. I
No,
wouldn't. I wouldn't.
as a 15-year-old boy, would you rather have played for Scotland or win the Best Actor category?
I'd
in the
rather have
Oscars?
played for Scotland. Otherwise, I went to drama school and pushed that forward, you know?
Yeah, but-
I had parents that told us we could do anything we wanted.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
I really wanted to be an actor, I would have pushed that. I was enamoured by the Oscars when I was a kid, and I
Yeah.
still am. And I still think to be an actor, to win an award would have been an incredible thing. But I completely love being a football player, and I wouldn't have changed it for the world. I wouldn't have given
I don't
up
know where we go to
one
from here.
cap.
Except he'd
for
rather
a-
win an Oscar.
Yeah, you would rather win. You'd rather
Do you know,
win
I
an Oscar.
actually,
Where do we go to?
I actually had an audition for a movie.
Did you?
Braveheart with Sean Connery. I was up for
Braveheart with
Get
Sean
out of it.
Connery.
Was it Braveheart?
No,
Mel
Braveheart was Mel
Gibson.
Gibson.
I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, it was like, was it called Braveheart? No, not Braveheart. No. What was the movie?
Oh,
Anyway, I can't remember. Anyway,
But it was Sean Connery.
Get your stats
It was
right.
Sean Connery, yeah. Yeah, get your stats right. Yeah, I did. And I was in a movie with a monkey.
Okay.
Yeah. But then less
Interesting.
about that, the
Tell
better.
us about the
What?
scene.
I was in a movie with a
You've
monkey.
been in movies.
No, I was in a movie with a monkey.
So the movie's called with a monkey.
What was the
I'm not
scene?
going to tell you
What was the
I'm not going
scene?
to tell you what it's called.
Cool, why not?
I was commentating. The monkey was playing soccer.
This sounds like a classic. Was it up for an Oscar? No.
No, but I'd rather get caps for
A
England.
monkey,
than-
that's
than be
the
in a
Robbie
movie.
Williams one.
No, it's not that big.
It was
Anyway,
years ago.
moving
We're
on.
going to find that movie. That's
Moving
why he
on.
doesn't want to say the name, because we'll
Moving
find
on.
it and show it.
Absurd. You start with the absurd. How about absurd? Chelsea making a ring around the referee to respect the ball as they do their huddle. You're not having that, are you, Kev?
Pathetic.
I've got a problem with what's happening at Chelsea right now. Right, I'll start with the head coach because he's obviously the guy that's leading this thing that's happening at Chelsea right now. I know Liam quite well. I played alongside Liam. It's almost as if he swallowed the psychology encyclopedia. That's what it is. He's quotes after quote, and I'm listening to him, and I'm trying to understand what he's saying half the time. It's not making any sense to me. It's not on a level with the supporters that's watching the team. It's not on a level with the people that's, you know, the general casual fan that's listening to him talking.
Yep.
And I don't think it's on a level with how you grow up within the game. Like, I understand that the game has changed a lot in terms of players taking on board so much more information. To me, it's coming out with absolute total waffle. That's the word that I would use for it. That word's not used in Canada as waffle.
I
is
like
it?
it.
But it's just absolute garbage. He's talking half the time.
Oh,
and
he's not.
And I'm listening.
I like him.
I like Liam. I
What
got
do you
on well
like
with
about
Liam.
him, Luke?
I like the fact he seems like a modern guy. He's having success wherever he's been so far, right?
Arguably. Okay, we could go on about that. Well, let's talk about his career in a
There is
minute.
no way in a million years that, from what he's done in his career, if you're saying
Yeah, yeah.
successful, that warrants the Chelsea
No,
job.
maybe not.
It doesn't warrant the Chelsea. The Chelsea job is Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
You know, Pochettino. These coaches that have
Yeah.
gone and succeeded on a high level.
Actually, sorry to interrupt, Kev, but I heard the guy talk yesterday. He was a big Chelsea fan. I think maybe it was on Talk Sport, and he was saying that even like Scolari, which was a disaster
Failed,
for Chelsea,
yeah,
but-
Villas-Boas, he
But
could
it's
understand
Scolari.
the name. He had managed Brazil. You know, Villas-Boas had success
Yeah.
with Porto in Europe, and he could understand it.
Yeah.
Whereas Liam Rossinier has done nothing that justifies getting the Chelsea job.
No, I agree. Absolutely agree on that. And what he's saying, I think he's doing. He might not do his reputation damage at board level, but I think on the wider scheme or the wider scale of the game, he's doing his reputation so much harm with how he's talking. Now, that's Liam, obviously. I never saw Liam like that when he was a teammate of mine. Honestly, didn't. He used to have some great stories.
But did you think he'd be a coach?
Yes, I probably did, yeah.
So should he not be authentic to himself and how he wants to do it?
I don't think he's been authentic to himself from how
You think
I knew
it's
Liam.
an act?
But I think that's what coaching kind of is now.
He's
it's
probably
become an
got
act.
one of these mentor guys, hasn't
Absolutely,
he?
he's got a life coach. I did my coaching badges, and I completed everything. I got my pro license, and I was sit on, and all I was doing was arguing, because the things that they were saying to me. Just one of the things on it was, for instance, say you're the manager and I'm your assistant. You get fired, and I get offered the job. What would you do? This type of scenario arose during one of the bits, and I said, well, the first thing I would do would call you, Steven Caldwell. He's the manager. He has given me the job. I respect him enough to ask him that question, to see what he says. And to be honest with you, I would probably be leaning towards no.
Almost to get the blessing for the guy that brought you in to say,
to see what he
yes,
says.
take it, it's good for you.
And the points were absolutely no chance do you do that. You take the job on the spot, you back yourself, and you think, because that's what's done at board level, that's what's done in business. And I was like, that's not how football works in my mind.
A code of conduct,
it's about
isn't it?
respect for each other, respecting the guy that I had to... Look, if he's failed, ultimately I've failed, so I don't really want that job, because I've led to your failure in many respects.
Yeah, but on the whole thing about what happened at the weekend, like, how does the referee get stuck in the middle in the first place?
Yeah.
Like,
why does he
you
just move him to the side and walk away?
But also...
Why is he standing there?
Well, I'm just thinking, as if I'm in the opposition and that's happening, honestly, I'm not having that.
OK,
No.
but if you're in the locker room and the coach, or apparently it came from the players, is telling you, this is what we're going to do, what do you say?
This is what
Because you've got to go out... If you're told as a player on your team, you're going to go join the...
It's a show of power. It's like in rugby where the All Blacks do the haka before the game. It's maybe not like that. No, but do you know what I mean?
But you're going along with it.
You're going to go along with it, but I'm thinking more... I would be thinking about... I'm showing a lack of respect for the team that I'm playing at, or if I'm going away from home and I'm doing it on their territory. It's almost like Graham Souness when he's Galatasaray manager, planting the flag in the middle of the pitch. Like, I am... If I'm an opposition player, I'm walking into that. I'm telling you now, I would walk into that. And I'd be like, get off.
So it was about the ball, right?
Yeah, respect the ball.
And the ref had the ball in his hands or whatever.
Respect the ball. You saying that? Do you not
respect the ball?
Respect the ball. Do you not sound that?
Have some respect for the ball.
I'd be embarrassed if I was a coach and I was saying that. If I was coming out with that sort of comment, I'd be embarrassed with me. I'd be going home again. I always say, look at yourself in the mirror. I'd be embarrassed at myself.
Yeah.
Respect the ball.
Is the first question
I'm embarrassed about the players.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. I like Chelsea
but
players.
you've got to do it. If your coach is saying that, what you're saying, are you pushing back
if you're
internally?
Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez and Moise Caicedo and Reece James, you have to do it. If Liam Rossinier tells you to do it, I think you say, Gaffer, behave. No, this is not something that we want to do.
Well,
I don't think they have to.
I'd agree with that.
I'm talking about the guys that I mentioned there are leader types. They're top class, world class players.
Yeah.
They can say to a manager, Gaffer, I don't think this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Let's leave this.
I agree.
But the main question ahead of that is, do the players like him? Do the players respect him? And if they do, if they didn't, they wouldn't have done it.
No, that's not the case. I don't think that. No.
You think you would think this coach doesn't know what he's doing, but he's telling me to do this, so I'm going to go and do it. You wouldn't kick back.
Well, ultimately, you've got to do that, right? But I think the way that I probably was, I wasn't necessarily this outspoken, but I'd be strong on the things that I believed in. I would have gone to see the manager. I would have gone and knocked on his door and said, this isn't right. This is not how it should be done.
Although maybe this came up like 10 minutes before kickoff.
Yeah, it's been done before. He did it a couple of weeks ago. This is the second time they've done it. Yeah,
they did it around the ball, but no referee or something.
No referee there. No, this is the first time.
I mean, if you're the ref,
that's why the referee got to the middle. Yes.
If you're the ref, do you stand there and just?
No, the ref should have got out of there quickly. He's almost just as much to blame for this. He should have said, this is not right.
Break this up.
Doesn't look good.
Tierney, Paul Tierney is his name, I think.
Surely the ref, but even beyond that, the referee has the authority to say, no, you're not even in your own half.
Move away, get in your position.
Move away.
You're not allowed in the centre circle.
Yeah, move away.
Kick-off. So move them outside the centre circle.
Someone suggested saying to the captain, if you're not away from me in 10 seconds, you're getting a yellow card.
Yeah. Right.
Right? Or just... Anyway.
I think the ref was in shock. And I think at some part
What can
it
you
is,
do?
if it did happen 10 minutes before the game or whatever, and it was a message from the coach, the players probably barely even listened, because 10 minutes before a game, Kev...
Well, we don't know, do we?
Well, listen...
Well, Tini would have known. That's why he stood there.
Yeah.
I think Tini knew it was coming.
But what
That's
I'm going
why.
to say is, Kev, like 10, 15 minutes before the game, you're not thinking about, like, outside things. You're thinking about your own performance, you're nervous, you're sort of going through your details, and things get missed. Like, things happen that you look back and you go, why didn't I say something, or why didn't I react? And you realise that you're in this sort of state of, like, high performance, high pressure. So you're just like, I got to get my stuff right, you know? And probably even guys at that level are the same. And so I think somehow this thing's just kind of developed, and it's just been like, became this catastrophe.
It's also very different if you win every game.
Yeah.
If he'd come in and win every game, it's not like there've been some good performances, some haven't been so good.
No. Big pressure on him now. Because the press have got it in for him.
But I would say, just from the referee's perspective as well, I was talking about being self-aware with that. If he breaks that up, then is he putting his hand on the players? You know, this type of thing. You know, there's a.
He can ask them to move back. Can't he?
I think he should have done, but the optics of it, because that's where the camera's panning, and he's pushing players aside.
I think he's in shock. It's a mess. Then they go out and they lose at home to Newcastle, who are not at their best this season, and no real depth to their team. They lose again in a game that should have won. I think it was their 5th defeat at home this season in the Premier League. You know, like, things are going bad for him. The press have got it in for him now. What a bringing undue pressure on yourself as a young coach and a massive job, to me, is just ridiculous and bad management.
That's bad management. In my opinion, that is bad management.
And I'm telling you, it's going to lead to his sacking, and it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. But Chelsea's a team, I think, historically, that their fans are hardcore fans. A majority of the, you know, I say the
loyal fans.
Loyal fans, yes, that's a good word. And they wouldn't have that. They wouldn't be having the waffle or the words that's coming out to try and justify that afterwards. They wouldn't have that. So that's where it's going to lead to problems for him, you know?
OK, there's been plenty going on that we can talk about, including IGOR TUDOR and the goalkeeper situation in the Champions League last week, we should get onto. But one of the things from the weekend was, I don't know if anyone's seen the clip of when he thought Arne Slot was on the sideline at Liverpool, and he went to say hi to him, and it just wasn't Arne Slot.
I thought it was Liverpool staff, but I'm hearing he's a member of the Tottenham Hotspur staff.
I thought it was one of the officials when I first saw it. I did, and I thought, obviously, got it wrong, but it's an official.
He styled it out, though. He just, like, sort of done it and then, like, made it look normal. But the guy that he shook hands with was very confused.
OK, well, Canada Soccer and Nike have released the jerseys for the World Cup, and we have had a couple brought into the studio so that we can rank them. So if you're listening to this podcast, good luck the next few minutes.
We'll try and explain it the best we can.
We'll try and explain it to you. It's March break, of course. So, you know, Daddy Daycare's come to the studio. We've got Parker Wileman, who is in the studio.
Parker Wileman,
he's got
come in
jerseys.
Here.
Come on, bring these jerseys in here right now.
I'm looking forward to it.
We've got a red and a black one.
Also to see Parker
there are 3
on screen
jerseys.
As well.
Parker, here
Good
he is.
Striker, this lad.
Scoring
Good
the
young
goals.
striker.
Big rocket at the weekend. OK, go sit
Brilliant.
back down. Thank you.
Thanks, Parker.
Well done, Parker.
This is the first time we have seen these in person.
Yeah.
OK, there is a white one as well, but we're just doing the red and the black.
Right.
So let's go with the red first, OK?
Oh,
red first.
Black pipe in here, which is surprising.
Black piping on the red. I like the black piping. There we go.
I like that.
The maple leaf right up the middle.
I like that. I think it's classy. It's stylish. It's more of a. It's in tune, obviously, with the maple leaf showing it with. It's just showing exactly what it is. I like
Two different tones of red.
Not too much detail on it, and I like.
Not a lot
of
detail. That's the one thing that disappoints me.
Is it? I like that. I like it. I wouldn't want to say.
Yeah, but Flashy Oscar Boy wants more than.
More
than.
Does it look a bit like a training T-shirt, though?
No, This to me is a Canadian jersey. That's what I think.
The maple leaf in the middle is pretty nice.
I like that jersey.
I quite like the black, actually.
The black piping adds something nice to it.
I have to say, sometimes strips grow on me. Like, you know, I see them at first, and then when I
feel
see
the
them
material.
when I see them on the field, and I'm like, oh, it looks good. And when it looks good in the players.
Yeah.
And if you are listening to this, as many people do, as it's a podcast, check out YouTube, Park the Boss, and the 18th minute. Around about the 18th minute of the podcast, you can see these jerseys, or just look online.
Can I have a feel?
Have a feel. It looks good. It feels good. It's an improvement on Qatar.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
improvement on
absolutely.
And it's an original, isn't it?
What are
Well,
we
we're getting
thinking?
a jersey. You didn't get a jersey.
Out of 10.
I'm saying yes. It's a bit too
Yes,
training.
yes,
jersey
in
for
my
me.
opinion,
I'm giving
this
it
one-
7.
8.5 for me.
All right.
I think it's
You like
right
that?
up there. I like
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
8.5. Okay.
I think it's a good. I really like that actually.
Yeah.
I really
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, they can stay there for the rest of the show. And then this one, I think this is going to be polarizing, but I think this one, which is it's almost like got
yeah.
it's
Oh, this is
black with
incredible.
white
This
sort of
is-
planet
this
stuff
is-
on it.
This is incredible.
This is for Oscar.
Woo! That's nice.
That is incredible.
I
It's,
think
it's called.
he's-
I think it's called the ice breaker
Well,
or something.
it's very Canadian.
It's got the
isn't it?
ice
These
on
are
it, you've got the
icicles.
white maple leaf.
They're maple leaf icicles.
The
The
Iceman will
badge
be
looks
wearing it.
incredible.
Jonathan David will
The-
think he'll look good scoring
The
goals.
black
in this.
badge. The black badge looks incredible. Do you think
It
it's better
does.
in person than on pictures?
Yes.
I
Is it
actually
better in
do-
person than
I
not seeing
do
it?
think it's better in person than in
Thank
the
you.
pictures,
Yeah.
but I still, no, I don't like it. I don't like it.
This could be a 10 out of 10.
What?
What? This could be a 10 out of 10.
For
This
him,
is an
10.
incredible
No,
him.
no,
jersey.
no. 10's a big shout. 10's like iconic, never forget jersey.
You don't think
9
this could be an iconic, never forget jersey?
Well, it depends what happens
If
in
they
it,
win
I
the
guess.
World Cup in it?
Depends what happens in it.
I
the
don't
game they
like
play
it,
in
lads. For me, I just think it's just too flashy for me. The Maple Leaf's in there as well.
Is it flashy though? Is it really flashy?
Yeah, it is a bit, and I think it'll probably stand out when they're on the field
Yeah.
in the with the camera as well.
That's the thing. It
I
could
love
look
it.
very different. A nice
plain
black on the back as
see
well
the
for
back
the,
as well, the numbers.
So
Yeah,
you
that's
see the
cool.
For you.
numbers.
White
Yeah.
numbers you're hoping for, yeah?
Gotta be. The badge is
Inside
cool,
the
eh?
collar. Look at that. It's a lucky loony inside the collar. Look.
Oh, nice.
You see that?
Oh, I like that. That's nice detail.
Nice
Let's just have
touch,
it as
yeah?
well. Yeah, this
Which
has
goes
got it
back to
too.
Canada winning gold at the Olympics.
From coast to coast to coast. Very, very nice.
Some nice little touches.
Yeah, it's a lovely shirt. It's a cool shirt. And the young people will like it. That's probably why you don't.
I'm too old, maybe.
Yeah, I
for it.
think so.
Maybe I'm too old for
I
it.
think the young people will like this one, Kevin.
I don't like
You're
it.
too
lads.
traditional, aren't you?
I don't like that. I
That's a
love the
lovely way
red.
to talk.
I love the red.
Try and get this sitting nice so we can
out
see
of
it.
10, lads. What do you
It's not
think?
a very good
Out of
folded
10
job,
on this
that,
one?
is it?
I'm going to go 9.5 out of 10, I
Oh
think.
yeah. Do you like it? I thought you
I'm
don't
going to
like
go
it that
9.
much.
I'm going to go 9.
That's a 6 for me.
9.
5.5. I don't like it. I wouldn't like that one. I love the
One
red.
of the best away jerseys at the tournament, I'm going to say.
What?
That'll be one of the best away
think?
jerseys at the tournament.
What about if Germany were in the green? Germany.
Oh,
love
Germany,
it. Love a
that
Germany
light
in the green.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, but
nice.
plain. You could easily just have. To be honest, the black is great, and the black last time around was plain
Yeah,
and was great
and
as
it
well.
still looked great.
It always
yeah.
looks really
Yeah,
good.
I like the black.
I like the plain black. I just like it black.
Yeah.
And that's what I would go for.
Very quickly, before we've got a couple more things before we get to Cyle Larin, but favourite jersey you ever wore? Not because it's like, the Green of Ireland or whatever, but like you like
Yeah.
the jersey. The
Oh.
nicest jersey that you wore.
It definitely changed from when we first started,
Yeah.
didn't it? The technology
Yeah.
improved
Yeah.
and you were getting better. Some
No,
of
but
the
the
jerseys
design,
were so
the
heavy. You know what? I always probably really think back to when I played at Preston North End, my first jersey.
Yeah.
Because it meant something. You know, when I scored my first goal.
Big heavy
It was a
jersey,
yellow
probably.
jersey, actually, or a away jersey. Quite heavy. It was yellow with blue collars or blue shoulders on it that it come down.
Yeah.
Baxi was the sponsor. So that one, probably... Look, I played with some great clubs and some great jerseys along the way, but, yeah, the yellow jersey at Preston I loved, yeah.
I would say my first jersey at Newcastle, when I first went down there, was the iconic Grandad collar.
Right,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
The
I
first
remember that one.
Adidas jersey we
Did it
wore
have the
in
star
the
sponsor on the
mid-90s.
middle
Yeah.
as well? That was one of the
Well,
most famous.
sometimes when we wore it, because I was a youth team player,
Right.
we weren't allowed to wear that because it was
Yeah.
a brewery. But then when you got a little older, you could kind of
Yeah,
wear
yeah.
it at certain
Okay.
times.
Well, that's the perfect segue to Max Dowman, who,
Yeah.
16 years old, scores the goal. I remember calling.
He's got to change on his own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Did
remember
that?
calling James Milner's goal when he
right.
at Leeds when he was 16 years old.
Who was that against?
I think it was Sunderland, wasn't it?
I was
You
playing.
played.
I was playing.
You played?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You marking
Well,
him.
they've just beat my record because I set James Vaughan up when he became the youngest Premier League goal scorer. I got an assist for that.
Were you the assist for that goal?
And now mine's
That's
been
incredible.
wiped, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realise you played in that game.
I remember watching James Milner, who was in front of me. I was
Was
left
it
winger.
Boxing Day?
It was, yeah, I think you could be right with that.
It was a Sunderland Leeds Boxing Day. It might not have been that one, but
was-
anyway.
it
I
was,
played
yeah.
in the Sunderland Leeds Boxing Day
Yeah?
a bit later.
Yeah.
A year or two later. For
yeah,
that
I
goal.
probably did that
Yeah.
one. I went
Yeah.
after you on
I
that game.
had a hand in both 1 and 2 until it's just been beaten. There you
But
go.
the point being, Max Dowman, 16 years old, scores the goal for Arsenal at the weekend. He's still at high school. You still can't even change and be in the locker room with the
safety rules,
the Arsenal players.
Yeah.
It's an incredible story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean,
16 years old.
It seems like it's been a long time coming, if that
And
makes
by
sense.
the way,
because
we were talking at the weekend about the 16-year-old
Mamedi,
Red Bull
Yeah.
New York
Yeah.
midfielder
Gotta
against
give him a
Toronto
mention.
FC,
Mamedi
Mamedi, who
outstanding,
is going
yeah.
to be that. But like, this is even more impressive because he's in the squad, and I saw him playing at Emirates in pre-season against Tejan Buchanan and Villarreal, and he came on, and it was like, make sure you watch this kid. He's going to be incredible.
Yeah, he was probably 15 then, was he? He'd been 15 then?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was. He's
because
only-
it's
it's 16 and
yeah,
70 days.
Correct.
So-
Yeah.
It's an incredible story.
Because he was very
and-
close to being the next year, but close to being in 2010. He's in 2009, I think.
Right.
Wow.
But like Mehmeti as well is a 2009-born player, and he's
was
in
outstanding.
the first team, and he's going
Yeah.
places. But Max Dowman's
another level.
already got there.
I have to say it's another level. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
coming on the Premier League and influencing games.
That's
So
right.
he set up the goal as well.
Is there
Gyökeres's goal.
any chance he goes to the World Cup?
Yeah, there's a chance.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it depends what happens in the next few
England
games.
have always traditionally thrown. Remember Theo Walcott when he
Yeah.
made the breakthrough?
Yeah.
Players like this that just come from
He
nowhere.
was 17, but he didn't play. Michael Owen, I think, is the England's youngest player at 18.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
England have got
Who had
history
an
of bringing
impact,
these.
obviously, in
Rooney,
that.
Rooney at the Euros.
Yeah.
With
17.
With a 26-man squad, is there
There's a
room
chance.
for Bellingham 17?
One thing I'll say is the position that he's in, number 10,
Yeah,
attacking
they got a
midfield.
lot.
Yeah.
We're even talking about, do they leave out Phil Foden?
Oh, well,
or,
exactly.
you know?
We had the
Yeah.
discussion a few weeks
Yeah.
ago. Foden and Rodgers and Bellingham and
Yeah.
Palmer and even his teammate Eze
Yeah.
could say, "Well,
Yeah, yeah.
come on, I've been knocking on the door. I deserve a chance." So I don't know. He's going to have to be sensational between now and the end of the season. He's going to have to fire Arsenal to the Premier League title
Yeah.
and score another. I would guess 3 or 4 goals at least, Kev, and a few other assists. But what a talent! I mean, Kev more than me, but I played against Wayne Rooney very early in his Premier League career, and it was so obvious to see that he was going to be a genuine superstar. Kev trained with him every day, played with him in the beginning and for a few years, and you could see that, you knew that, and this kid's got the same kind of aura, doesn't he?
Well, the name's been mentioned a while now. It's not this. I know he scored the goal at the weekend. I was just saying before. Why is it taken so long in many respects? Because we've known of this name now, and he's been getting game time along the way. So it's just been when it happens, not if it happens. That's what it seemed like, hasn't it, with him? And I think even if you look at the goal at the weekend, it ended up becoming Jordan Pickford was up the pitch, so it became a tapping goal. But if you look at the goal originally, I think it's Mykolenko comes over to try to pull him over, and he just has the strength to brush him off. He then skips inside the last defender, and then he has the full length of the pitch to run into. He dribbles off both feet. I mean, he's equally comfortable dribbling with the ball on the top of his left foot and the right.
Got a bit of size about him, Kev.
Size, stature, I think he's only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
I heard names like Kaká mentioned at the weekend around him.
His style.
The style of play that he's got. So, look,
Is there anywhere in a 26-player World Cup squad for someone being taken who you're not expecting to be involved but is going for experience for the next Euros or the next World Cup? Or do you need 26 players
Well,
who...
England have done it with 23.
No, you don't need
and other
26.
nations have done it. Messi was another one.
But would you leave someone like a Phil Foden
Well,
out?
it's a respect thing then, isn't it?
Right.
It's like, why would you leave out a guy that's won? What has Foden won?
But what I would say...
Let's look at a guy like that. You know, we sort of like move past him, Kev, because he's maybe not having the most spectacular year, but you think about what he's won and what he's achieved, what he's done, to sort of disrespect him and leave him at home and pick a young man that's going to have 4 World Cups, 5 World Cups ahead of him.
He might as well, but you don't know that.
You don't.
So you're also saying we'll reserve a spot for this kid who we don't think is quite ready yet.
Yeah,
probably isn't going to play.
I don't think England will.
But may or may not make a World Cup in 4 years' time.
I don't think
because a lot
England
can
will
happen.
do that. I only think England will take him if they pretty much can't leave him out, and his performances over the next 2 or 3 months are at a level where it's like we must take this guy. He's such a difference maker.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll say a few things. Just originally on Phil Foden, that's the conversation that Tuchel has with him. If he's not going to start games and not going to play, and he might be the guy that's potentially get 5 minutes off the bench, why take him? That might be the conversation that's being had. Off the back of it, I would look at all these other nations now. Obviously, it's expanded squad now to 26. Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo, USA 94, went to the World Cup. Part of that, didn't play. So you've got that. Many teams have set precedents along the way. Theo Walcott, another one we mentioned before for England, loads of nations have done it with young players that have brought them on.
Yeah.
Maybe thinking they might get a game here and there if we're upping games to see how it goes with them. Do they rate Dowman of elite,
that highly,
elite level?
Yeah.
And if he is that, what they're rating him at real elite level, then you're looking at Ronaldo. Messi was another one, wasn't he? Messi went to World Cup in... What was the year that Messi, and he didn't...
Oh, would it be 06?
I think, or it might be, yeah. Did he play in 06?
I'm not sure.
He might have played. But I mean, what I'm saying is the precedent's been set with a lot of nations that have done it.
Yeah.
And if they're rating him in that category of the real greats of the game, then I think it could be potentially...
It's difficult to say that at this point, isn't it?
But there was the same for Ronaldo when he was
and the other thing is
injured in December, though. He's been out for a while, came back. You know, he's had one great 30-minute performance. He's got to back it up over 10 games.
If you're a player who has played for your country on a number of occasions, however many caps it is you've got, what are you thinking if they take a 16-year-old kid who is, instead of you, to a World Cup who isn't quite ready, but they're taking him for experience? Surely you're then done with the national team at that point.
You're very upset, but I don't think they can just take him because he might be there for the next 4 World Cups. He has to be impactful. He has to there has to be a reason that he's going. So if he's better than you, it doesn't matter if you're, 21, 31. If it's deemed by Thomas Tuchel that Max Dowman's better than Phil Foden or Cole Palmer or whoever, then he goes. He has to go.
Yeah, you're raging. If you're a part of that squad, as Luke's saying there, you're not happy as one of the players.
Not.
But that's the manager, the coach's decision that he's got to make. He's got to make that.
But I think, again, I've probably said it about 3 times in this chat, but the point that I need to make is, like, he needs to score a game-winning goal. He needs to get them to Premier League. He might even need to help them win the Champions League. That sort of level of impact.
9 points now, it looks as though they're not.
And they've got a right chance of the Champions League as well because of their path.
It's incredible where he is, but he's not at that level yet where you're... The question's being asked, obviously, because that's what happens.
Of course.
In England. If you've got that, then the spotlight is going to be on him. But anyway, I think one of his school exams clashes with one of the pre-tournament friendlies anyway. So he might not...
Set that in the morning of the game.
He's got to do the geography.
Set that remotely in the morning of the game. Can you imagine?
I think... did you do Alphonso Davies' debut with me? Maybe not. In Vancouver?
No.
They played Orlando.
I did not. But I remember it well.
He came on towards the end of the game and had been at school that morning. He'd been actually at school during the morning and made his MLS debut at night, age 15, when he came on. And I'm pretty sure it was Orlando.
But we did that, didn't we? Remember when we were talking about Lamine Yamal a couple of years ago, we were talking about him doing exams when he was doing what he was doing at the Euros. So
I think all these players that we're talking about, the impressive thing, they've all got talent, obviously. They would never be there at that age if they didn't. But it's their character, isn't it? And that's what was so impressive about Dowman. It was I'm coming on here, I'm going to win this game. It's not like I'm going to come on and try and keep the ball and look like I have a half-decent match. It's like they want to be the superstar. Wayne was the same, wasn't he?
I just think with Lamal, I never mentioned him when I was in that. Lamal, Wayne absolutely was. Wayne, and he said it himself, Wayne stepped on the training ground and went, I'm the best player here. And he was 16. Even when he was 15, when he was training with the guy, he was like, I'm better than all you guys. So it was almost... recognise that.
Did he say that?
He said it in a podcast. He said it in a podcast.
No, but did you know at the time that he thought he was better than everybody? No,
he never said it. He was quite shy.
But his demeanour was probably in training.
He knew it. He knew he was special.
So that was his as well.
He's not coming up to you.
Did you know as well, Kev?
He's not coming up to you and saying, I'm better than you, Kev, anyway. It doesn't matter.
No.
He was respectful of the players that were there.
He was.
He couldn't do that back then, even if you were as good as Wayne Rooney. You couldn't.
No.
You just got put down, But it's their demeanour. That's what I'm saying. It's the way that they puff their chest out, and then you start to realise, this kid's a bit different. This kid's got something. I mean, my very small examples, like even like a kid like JJ Rodriguez, who I trained with at 17 at Burnley. The first training session, I'm like, this kid's gone far. This kid's like got something. He's smashing people in training, he's getting on the ball, and they have something about them. They know that this is their window and it might never open again, and I'm bursting through it and I'm not allowing anybody to get in my way.
It's a funny one. Will Hughes, who's playing at Crystal Palace now, he came through at Derby while I was at Derby. So we heard that he was leaving school on the Friday. Nigel Clough was the manager. He was leaving school on Friday at 3 o'clock. We were picking him up off the bus. He couldn't room with any of the senior pros because he was still underage. Couldn't shower with us. All these sort of things come into effect off the back of it. he's still a minor. This is what you look
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
He's a minor.
Wow.
He's a kid at 15, and he made his debut for us. I can't remember where it was actually he made his debut, but I was on the bench, and he was on the bench with me, and he made his debut the day. I said I can't remember who it was.
That's amazing.
But we had Will Hughes and we had another lad. I can't remember his name. It took me. But so when these kids come in, when they're special, and they're still at school and they're training with you, it's
an amazing thing.
Yeah, it is.
Tottenham last week in the Champions League, all kinds of stuff going on at Tottenham, although they got a good point against Liverpool at the weekend, just when it was seeming as if Igor Tudor might not even last past a few games. The clamour for Harry Redknapp to come back into Tottenham was...
I got to say, I saw Redknapp do an interview on the racing channel, and it was disgusting. Disgusting.
I know.
But he was straight. A guy's in a job, and with his experience, he's basically like interviewing for the job. I didn't like that at all.
But they made a change in goalkeeper. Kinski came in. Vicario was dropped for the Champions League. And then it's a disaster.
Yeah.
And he was at fault for at least 2 of the goals, big time.
Yeah.
3 down. Igor Tudor, 15 minutes in, decides to bring off Kinski and put Vicario back on, substituting the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Honestly, as much as if I was in his position, you want the earth to swallow you up, this is football. This is the reality.
The right call.
It's the reality of the game. So I made my Ireland debut. I was taken off at half-time.
Very different for an outfield player, though, isn't it?
It's just the reality of the game. What do you do as a coach? You're sitting there. Your goalkeeper's making mistakes.
You wait till you lose 7-0.
You're going to wait till. So this is something I think that people are jumping on to go. Oh, it's a shocking decision. You know, why is the manager? This is how hard the game is. This maybe
Hasn't he destroyed that keeper, though?
Quite
Is
possibly.
his career,
Quite possibly. His career could be done, and I hope it isn't. Look at Karius when he played for England.
Funnily enough, it's all the keepers who have come. A lot of keepers have come out and said it wasn't treated properly, and also he didn't talk to him when he went off.
Honestly,
he just let him walk up.
To me, this is the game.
What could he say to him at that point?
I don't know what you think, Stevie.
Yeah.
But
I feel for you, or like there's nothing you can say. He's better just leaving it until the next day or later or whatever.
How many times have we seen a substitute come on and be substituted 20 minutes later? That's the ultimate embarrassment for an outfield player, isn't it, I think? This is the game. And no matter what anyone thinks, the reality of being an athlete, modern-day sport, being a professional footballer, however you want to describe, you know, your profession or whatever it's going to be, this is the reality. This is how hard it is. So mentally now, this is how you've got to get over it, or how you get over it, should I say. And these setbacks that you get, it's how you climb that next hurdle, how you climb the mountain, and can you get back up that mountain? And if you don't, ultimately you fall away. That's the reality of modern sport. That's the reality of the game, how I played it. I mean, look, managers that come in and absolutely destroy you at half-time or destroy you during the first half of the game.
So you said you were off at half-time of your Ireland
international debut. Iceland away, got pulled off at half-time. And I can't even tell you the devastation. It took me 6 months to get over it. The devastation of that game, it was in Iceland away. I think we were losing at half-time. My replacement came on and scored, and I thought it was the end, because I'd built it up playing for Ireland my whole life. That's all I wanted to do above anything else. Taken off at half-time on my debut, I had an absolute nightmare, and I wasn't back involved in the squad probably for another 6 months. And I can't even tell you how it was. And it was me rebuilding. I think it changed my whole... You know, when we talk about having a career in the game, how do you have a career in the game? I was a winger. And I was probably a little bit of a winger. It was just stay wide, get the ball, get crosses in, go and beat your guy. If it doesn't work out for you, that's fine.
Reconfigured your whole game.
That showed me that if I'm going to be playing at the top level, if I'm going to be and go and play at the top, this is how I've got to change my game. I've got to have different things to my game. And that was maybe my wake-up call in my career.
So the critical thing is he went home and he sort of looked in the mirror and figured it out. You know, this game's not for everyone, guys. There's tens of millions, hundreds of millions that probably want to be a professional footballer throughout the world.
And others that want to win an Oscar.
Yes.
Hey?
And there's a very few that can actually get there and make it, you know? And the big thing in the end of the day is, how do you cope with pressure? How do you cope with adversity? And how do you deal with the mental side of how hard it is?
Do you blame Tudor? I said, would you blame Tudor?
He made the decision in the first place,
him?
but you're both saying it was the right call to bring him out.
Well,
I just think it's the reality of the sport.
Tudor at the minute's got 2 keepers. Vicario's having an abysmal time, right? He was half decent a few years ago, but he's...
Half decent at a stretch.
OK. But I can't say he's a terrible keeper. Or Kinski. They've got big reputations and they're playing horrendous. And the guy's job's hanging by a thread. And the guy that he dropped for the guy that comes in has conceded two terrible goals.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably thinking, like, what am I supposed to do here? I don't necessarily blame him. And his responsibility is not the future of Kinski's career. His responsibility is to win a game for his football club, to save his own job, and to get Tottenham, you know, in the next stage of Champions League, or save them in the Premier League, whatever it is. And the harsh reality of this game is, at the highest levels, it's absolutely ruthless.
If the same thing happened in Canada's first game against, say, Italy at the World Cup, and they were 3 down with 2 howlers from whichever goalkeeper it was that got put in, knowing the battle is so close, would you be in favour of Jesse Marsch making a change?
Yes,
15 minutes into the World Cup
I would.
opening.
And you know why I say that, right? It's because as a coach as well, it's not just about reading everything tactically and looking at stats and looking at a goalkeeper that's making millions of saves. You're reading body language, you're reading them. And if that is the way that it's gone, I'd have no issue with it. If that is the way that it's got to be to get a result or stop the flow, because if it went on to become 6 or 7 for Jesse Marsch, we would look back at that 15 minutes spell and goes, I think you've got to take him off. I think you've got to do it for him and the team. So I'd have no problem with it. I wouldn't. And I know that, look, every psychologist that's around you will tell you about the mental effect that it would have on that player. And I know all this, but that's the reality of it. That's the reality of being a professional footballer, being a pro at the top. It's bloody hard, lads. It's
I wouldn't criticise him. I wouldn't criticise Jesse Marsch if he did something like that. As I said a few weeks ago, I don't think one goalkeeper will play 3 games in the group stage for Canada because they're so close.
I'm surprised at that.
Because potentially it won't go well for whoever gets that first game, you know. And I hope I'm wrong, because I hope it's so successful for Canada and for whoever gets the nod that things go so. But when you've got this decision to make, and there's a bit of parity between the goalkeepers, whether it's they're the highest of the high level or they're sort of mediocre, it's irrelevant. You're doubtful about who to pick, and so the coach has got to pick on a gut feeling most of the time. When you're picking 11, you're picking on a gut feeling, Kev, aren't you? You're just going, a lot of times you're just going like, I'm choosing this guy because it just feels right. And this is where TUDOR is at the minute.
Because you're monitoring all the stats, you're monitoring the progression of the player. You've covered all the bases on it. So how do you make that decision?
Vicario came on, lost a lot of goals that game. He played that weekend there. Spurs did really well. Letting a howler for Sloboslai. Like, I don't know what he's doing. I don't want to analyse it.
But now you can't go back to Kinski.
Why not? If he's reacted right and he's rolled his sleeves up and went, right, I've had an abysmal game. How many abysmal games have you had? I've had hundreds.
Not many, mate.
I've had hundreds. Hundreds.
Of course we have.
Right?
Of course.
But what do? You say, I'm going to be better next time.
Come on.
Hundreds is
How
maybe
many career games did you play?
400 and something.
Right, so you maybe had a handful of bad games.
No,
I'm on a handful. I had a lot of bad games.
But also what I would say to you...
You go again.
I think you judge yourself very high because you have to. You're always looking for perfection. You're looking for 10 out of 10 every game, and that is impossible. So if you are a 4 or 5 and you've had a terrible game, how do I improve on that? How do you go away and analyse? I used to analyse myself probably too much. I used to overanalyse every bad performance that I ever had. You know, whether I'm not crossing well, whether I'm not whatever I was doing, every aspect of my game. And it goes back to that, making my international debut. I didn't overanalyse myself. I think I probably made the right decisions for me to have a successful career off the back of that, you know? Because I could have been dead in the water then. And I know if I went away and sulked and, whatever.
How many games did you play?
For Ireland after that.
In your career, roughly?
About over 700,
Club and country?
Club and country,
Over 700.
And I think we just say that number like it's
that's a lot.
Arbitrary. It's ridiculous. And as I said, tens of millions won at VM. 700 games. And it's because of that.
Well I think that's what it is. And you have to...
You get over the resilience.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk to our guest who's had to get over a few stumbling blocks in his career, but great to see that this week on Park the Bus we're going to be joined by Cyle Larin, the Canada striker. That's next. So here we are with our guest this week on Park the Bus, Canada's second all-time leading scorer, and now of Southampton in English Championship as well. Cyle Larin joins us from the south coast of England. Kyle, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Great to have you with us today. First off, how are you settling in there on? It's not a bad place to be, is it, down there by the south coast in Southampton?
No, it's not too bad. Settling well, family settling in also well. I think the club's helped me a lot just to settle in off the field, just to get everything in order for me to be comfortable and perform on the pitch.
Southampton's always been a great club, Kyle. We've, Kevin and I, played against them many times.
Yeah.
A club that I think obviously been at a higher level before now. What have you found in terms of the ambition of the club and coming in there and the form that you guys have been in? It's a Premier League club, right? It's a club that should be at a higher level. Are you seeing that in your early days there?
Yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons I've came here, because I know they're a Premier League club, obviously a big club, and I know they have potential of going up again, and then just the way they play, just the quality on the team, and obviously I came a big part as a coach too. So I think it's a big reason why I came, because I also see myself playing in the Premier League one day, and this was a chance to also, but not only just to play, but to potentially go up. So I think we're in a good moment right now, and just got to keep working.
Yeah, Kyle, you just said there about your family getting settled and everything over there. How important, first of all, was that to you to get the family settled there with you? But also, off the back of that, do you see this as a long-term plan for you now going forward at Southampton?
Yeah, it was quite easy to get my family settled. It's probably the easiest. It's a bit like Canada. I think there are a lot of similarities in the UK and Canada. So it wasn't too hard to get settled, but I think the club had a big part of helping me and to do that. I mean, if all goes well, it's an option, but I think right now I'm just focused on the next game, and because I know I need to perform, and that's the only thing I'm focused on right now.
In terms of you performing, we talked about when you made the move, trying to hit the ground running here, because you haven't got a lot of time between now and the World Cup to try and get into form, get to your peak fitness, be ready for what is coming with Canada this summer. So for you to come off the bench and score within like seconds of coming on in your Southampton career with that bullet header, what was that moment like for you? Take us through like coming into the game and then just the impact that you were able to make so quickly, scoring that goal right off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I chose to come to Southampton, and I knew the reason why I was coming to help the team, to help score. I knew they created a lot of chances, and that was important for me, and because I know the ball will get to me, and if I get the chances, I will score. So and that was a big part, but for the goal, I think I knew the guys on my team have the quality to put in the ball, and I've watched a lot of games, and it was just losing my man and getting on my head on the ball. I think kicking off for the goal helped a lot, but I think in the next games after that, I think we create a lot of chances, and I get chances, and I think that's the most important for me right now when playing. So I think the more games I play, the more I'll score.
Certainly scoring builds confidence, Kyle, but it's watching you recently in FA Cup against Fulham. I saw you in the best form I've seen you in a while. Looks like you're sharp, you're fit, you're confident, as we said. Yeah. How's the body feeling? How are you feeling mentally? Are you feel like you're really coming into this real rich vein of form at perfect time?
Yeah, I think that's always been the thing with me, and I've tried to go past clubs where I thought I was going to play and then didn't work out. And I mean, if I didn't go to those places, I wouldn't have been here today. So everyone has their opinion of where I should go. But I think I made the best decision for me. And with me, it's playing and playing consistently and keeping that fitness. I think for any footballer, with fitness comes games, and you can't replicate that. So, and I'm getting the games and the time, and playing against Fulham was I loved playing against them, a Premier League team, and I was just enjoying my football, and it was exciting, and just I was happy to be playing.
Kyle, we've had a few teammates of yours on, and the lads give me a lot of slope me about when I'm on about setting targets for yourself and all these sort of things. But one thing I'm interested in, just in terms of the World Cup, did you feel the pressure in the last year with that lack of game time that you've had at your club, whether that's been in Spain or in Holland? Were you focused on the World Cup? Was that always in your mind that you just needed to get somewhere to play instantly?
No, I think everyone will go through their times when either with this injury or not getting minutes or scoring. I think everyone will go through it. It's just how you deal with it. And at those moments, that's where I was going through. And I don't think
How
I was
did you deal
focused.
with that, Kyle? What did you do to deal with that when you weren't getting the games or even scoring the goals, you say?
Yeah, you just got to keep working and do the same things you did. I've been doing that for the past couple of years before that, and I knew it would come back, and I knew I would be in the right place as time went on, and I'll start scoring goals again. I've always believed I could score goals and just in the right place and the right team. So that was important. But yeah, I think right now I'm in a good moment to keep going and as time goes on and I keep doing that, I think it will lead up to the World Cup and I'll be in a good position.
Why, on the face of it, Feyenoord looked like a great move for you, Kyle. Why was it so difficult in Rotterdam? What was the issues there? Was it just the fit of the style, or was it the connection with the club? I don't know. What kind of went wrong there? Because we were so excited, we felt like that was going to be a place that you would thrive, and it just never seemed to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I made a decision to go there and to get game time to play, and obviously for whatever reason, I didn't play so much, and there's only so much things you can control, and I controlled as much as I could do off the pitch, but obviously with me, I need games, I need to play and get that rhythm to feel good, to have the fitness to score, you know. So I think coming in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I only could control so much of my what I can do, um, but when you're not getting the consistent minutes and to get that flow of game time, it's difficult, and um, I, it just didn't work out. Um, I think I'm in a better place now and then a better situation.
Carl, we've had this conversation many a time about, and Luke's asked us both about when we signed for a club and we kind of knew straight off the bat that it hasn't worked out. Did you know instantly? Did you feel that within a short space of time? And I mean, obviously going to Southampton and scoring so early, as Luke mentioned before, that does change things for you. But how did you feel when things weren't quite going right so early for you at Feyenoord? And what do you think the reason was ultimately? Why do you think it didn't happen?
No, I think obviously I went in there good mentality. Obviously, you're not guaranteed a position, guaranteed playing time, but you need to work for it. But I went in and it started off well, and I played a couple of minutes. Obviously, I had to get my fitness back, but to be honest, sometimes it's not in your control, and the coach decides who's going to play or not, and obviously the striker was scoring there. So, when a striker's scoring, you don't want to take them out. So I just waited for my time, and that time didn't come. So I just kept working and found the best solution for me. And when things are not working, you just sometimes things have to change. So.
Jesse Marsch has always been a huge supporter of yours when he's been asked questions about, at times, lack of minutes. He's always been very strong about what you bring both on and off the pitch for this group of players. Do you like playing for Jesse Marsch and this Canada right now as we're building up towards the World Cup? Still quite a lot of questions because of players who have been injured, players that are still coming back to try and find form and fitness at the moment, even though we're heading towards what is the penultimate window before we get to the World Cup. Where do you think this group of players is at, and how much are you enjoying being part of it?
Yeah, when I come to international team, I always love seeing the guys and love being a part of this team. I've been here for a long time. I've seen both parts of before and now. So I think we have a really good group, and Jesse Marsch has a big part to play in that, and he brought us all together to play better football, stronger football against top quality teams. So no, I think my relationship's always been good with Jesse. I've been honest with Jesse, so he's always been supportive. So no, I think guys are just going through their moments, and like I said, it's how you come out those moments, and either you're injured or not getting game time. It's how you come out and just build yourself back up to be ready for the World Cup and when that time comes.
You mentioned injuries there, Kyle, and I know that you guys are a close-knit group, but how closely do you look at kind of the injuries that are maybe happening, particularly in the back line at the minute, with concern, or are you just focused on seeing your name in that squad and, hoping you're in the starting 11? How much impact does what's happening around the world with your teammates, Canadian teammates, affect you?
Yeah, I mean, we have quite a lot of injuries, but I think those guys are strong guys, are guys who are going to fight and be ready when the time comes. And I think when we play on that pitch as a team, I think we're a different type of team and really close group. And in either you're not getting minutes or not, I think we push our limits. But like I said, every guy goes through their injuries, either getting re-injured or not getting minutes, but we will always push, and I think that's our identity. We try to push our limits and keep going as individuals, as Canadians.
How big is this coming camp for you, Kyle? 2 matches in Toronto. It's obviously getting so close to the World Cup now. Big opportunity coming up?
Yeah, I mean, every time I come into a national team, I try to help the team. I think I've always when Canada needed me, I was always there. I don't think a big opportunity. I think if I'm focused here and then doing what I have to do, I'll do what I have to do with the national team, and that's scoring goals.
You know what, Kyle, as well, your relationship with Jonathan David, your link-up play, the closeness, certainly from an outsider looking in, watching your relationship on the field itself. Do you feel as though that can be one of the key components for Canada at this World Cup? Because, with the emergence of Tani Oluwaseyi and Promise David, of course, injured right now, do you feel as though that's affected the game time that you've had, and how have you felt about their emergence itself?
Yeah, I mean, those guys done well in their career and just the beginning of their career, and you're gonna have to do it for a long period of time, and for just keep doing it. And for me and Jonathan, I've been playing with him for a while, and when we started playing together in the national team, we had a good connection. And obviously, at the highest level, you're gonna have to keep performing. And for that time being, I wasn't playing for my club and whatever situation I was in, and so these guys were playing well, and then they deserved it, and they done what they had to do. But you have to do it over years and years. So now I'm back to where I want to be, and gonna keep pushing every day to be at my top form.
He's having a difficult season at Juventus, Jonathan. I know you guys are close friends, Kyle. How often do you connect with him? I know he looks up to you. I know you guys have that kind of really close relationship. As I said, are you kind of trying to help him through it? And where is he with his mindset at the minute?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jonathan's a quality player, great person, and it takes time sometimes. It takes time, and people looking outside want things fast, and everyone has their opinion. And I've been through situations where people want results right away, but I think Jonathan he'll catch up, and he'll catch up to speed, and he'll be back where he needs to be. And I think he'll be scoring goals for Juventus for a long time, and I believe in him, and everyone in Canada believes in him. So no, I keep up with him, and I speak to him, and just tell him to keep going. And then obviously he's at a big club, but a big personality, so you have to keep pushing every day and want it.
Kyle, how confident that you'll be the starting striker alongside Jonathan David for the opening game at the World Cup, and how excited are you to be part of it when the World comes, that home World Cup that we have here?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm doing what I'm doing in my club, I'm sure I'll be there. And I mean, Jesse has the last say of who's playing or not. But if I'm doing what I have to do, I'm sure I'll be there. And hopefully Jonathan's scoring at the same time and doing well too, and we can both be in a top form where we want to be and going into the World Cup.
Well, we really appreciate your time. I did want to know whether or not you thought Stevie was a good assistant coach when he was with you with Canada.
You don't need to answer that. You don't need to answer that.
Hey, because
no, Stevie's been good. I mean, he's always been good to me.
All the guys say that. All the guys talk about Stevie helping them out.
I paid him some money. I just say, guys, look after me.
When Alistair Johnston was on, he said that Stevie used to bring in biscuits, Scottish shortbread to training. So paid him in biscuits to talk good about
Me
it.
and this man have always had a great relationship, a mutual respect here, and some of the goals that he's scored for Canada when I've been in the coaching staff, you guys know what I think of him and how loyal I've been to him because I know his quality, and I'm just delighted to see you back at your best, Kyle, because I know when you're feeling good, you're strong, you're confident, you're sharp and fit, that you can be a real weapon for Canada, and so. Just delighted for you. Glad you're in England as well.
Hey, what I want to know is, did Stevie ever join in training, Kyle? Did you ever try and embarrass him or nutmeg him in training? Did he? How was he when he was playing?
No, I wouldn't even try to nutmeg. I think he would six foot me. I watched when he plays.
He knows me.
I watched when he used to play back in the day. You know where?
Yeah, he saw that 2-foot challenge on Diwali that you did, the Kansas City guy, when you took him out of the chest.
I did
and got sent off by Baldomero Toledo.
One time there was a sparse place, and I wasn't at my fittest at that time, I have to say.
When have you ever been at your fittest?
Yeah, exactly. And I went into a 5v5 with these guys. You know, when you still think, I can still keep up. You know, you've got this mentality after being a professional, and you go into the training, even in a little, 2-box game, 36-yard pitch. I was breathing heavy, I'll tell you that. So that was the last time that I ever volunteered to get involved in training.
Just finally, we had the jerseys in the studio a little earlier on, and we were ranking them. I don't know, have you actually seen? Presumably, you've seen the Canada World Cup jerseys. The black one with the looks like shattered ice on it, I gave a 9.5 out of 10. That was just incredible. Kevin's not as he wasn't having it.
I don't like it.
But you like them, Kyle, the jerseys?
Yeah, I like them. I think as time goes on, the first time we wear it, I think we'll start to like them more and how they feel, and we no, I think they're a lot better than what we had before, and then I think we're getting as time goes on and we start winning games and Canada becomes bigger and we start doing well, I think more things will come. I think this is just the beginning of what we'll be getting. Yeah, the jerseys become iconic because of what you do in them, really, not because of what they look like, right? But Stevie's a bit of a catwalk guy, so he's the fashion. He loves the black one. He could be rocking.
Cyle Larin's a bit of a catwalk guy. He's a fashion guy.
Yeah,
he loves his fashion, so he's a good guy to rate these jerseys. I think Canada will be looking splendid in the away jersey.
Kyle, would you rather win an Oscar or would you rather win the World Cup? We've had this debate this morning. Stevie would rather win an Oscar than the World Cup. I couldn't believe it.
Obviously, World Cup.
No, see, he loves the Oscars as well.
I'm not an actor, but I'd rather win the World Cup.
Yes, exactly.
You have to think about it. Say about the red carpet and the nice tuxedo. You
can't win the World Cups. You can win Oscar in a year. World Cups every 4 years, and you can't run for that long anymore.
That's true.
Good point.
That's the best answer.
I like that. And it's a team award as well, the World Cup.
You can act when you're 60.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably why I still like the Oscars. I've got a chance of maybe winning one. World Cup's gone for me.
Well, listen, Kyle, keep banging in the goals. We're loving watching you out there with Southampton right now, and especially heading towards the next window. These 2 games coming up at the end of March and then in towards the World Cup. Appreciate you taking the time today, and all the best moving forward, Kyle. Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle.
Good luck. Good luck.
See you guys. Thank you.
Cyle Larin with us on Park the Bus. Great to get some insight into to how he's settling in. And like we said, you get the impression talking to him that he's in the right place.
Yeah,
and that's half the battle, isn't it?
Nice to see a smile.
It
was because it's hard, and he spoke there the importance. I wanted to bring that up with the families. You know how hard and how much of a
big
burden
guy,
that can be when you're on the field. If your family aren't settled, it's hard then to become fully focused.
The other thing is when you think about what he's done for this country, and Jesse Marsh often talks about the fact that he brings so much to this group of players.
Yeah.
He knows exactly, and we've talked a lot about the fact that some of these players won't have played. Like an Alphonso Davies might not have played for Canada for a long time before it comes to that last window before the World Cup. Alistair Johnston's been out a long time. Moise Bombito's been out a long time. when you know that you can rely on someone who knows, who's been there in the biggest stages for a long time with this country. That plays a lot into your thinking when you're picking an 11, doesn't it?
When that anthem starts in Toronto and the camera goes along the line and you look at their faces, you want to see people that you can trust, that you think he'll deliver at the right moment. And so many times that man delivered. That man delivered a moment at the right time, the cool finish, the little flick around the corner, the bit of movement that's so subtle and a big part of Cyle Larin's game that I think still has him playing a huge part in the World Cup this summer.
Undoubted quality. And it's not necessarily the goal. You mentioned that Fulham game there, Stevie, before. That said to me the level that he's at. I know he didn't score in the game and he didn't have a lot of chances in the game. But when you're playing as a 9 now, the modern 9, you might not necessarily get a lot of chances. It's about your hold-up play, your awareness, how you bring in teammates. You've got to have 3 or 4 touches to get players up the pitch when you're under pressure. It really showed me that game. I thought he was absolute quality in that game. Really
and the Championship is the best league in the world. Whether or not you think the Premier League's better, it's the most entertaining. I would rather watch a Championship game any time.
This season, I agree with that
at a
as
high
well.
level.
This season,
what a
and
league.
it's
Quality
not even sometimes.
and the pace and power and everything else you expect. I know.
Like you mentioned Southampton, but then you look at some of the other teams that are in there in that
They're on
league.
a right run,
Wrexham, they're chasing Wrexham.
They might
They're
go
only
up,
3 points.
Southampton.
Well, they're
They're right
only.
run.
I think the 3 points. I think right.
I'd fancy them the
around
playoffs
Wrexham.
as well, Kev.
That's 6 spots.
Club
still
like
open.
that, you know.
And do you know what as well, just to finish with, people can go look at this on YouTube, but I said to one of the kids the other day, I said, we were talking about incredible goals that were scored. I said, did you know that Kev scored one of the best goals ever seen at the Dell? Remember Southampton's old stadium?
Oh, we never watched that. He mentioned that a few months
I went
ago.
and found it on YouTube.
Right.
It was a cracker.
Yeah.
Decent, wasn't it?
It was a
half
pretty
decent.
good goal.
Over a kick,
Yeah, loved the Dell. But Southampton's new stadium, it doesn't have quite as much character as the Dell
I
used
love
to.
St Mary's as well.
I love the
I've
Dell.
had some great times
but
at
it's
St Mary's. I scored the winner at St Mary's once.
Oh, there
Did
you
you?
go.
Hold the back
quite,
page.
Listen, it wasn't quite as
Hold the back
spectacular as
page.
Kevin Kilbane's at the Dell, but it was a good goal, good header.
You scored. How many winners did you score in your career? You said 400 and something games you played.
How many winners?
Yeah.
Well, I scored one at Sunderland to get us up to the Premier League. That was quite a big one. And then I scored one at the Dell. I scored one at
I just scored one at Sunderland to get us up to the
scored one at
He scored a few goals,
Monday
Steve.
Night Football
He was very
against
good.
Middlesbrough.
Did you?
Tyne Tees
Can I just
derby.
ask you, where did you finish at Burnley when you got promoted in the league? What position?
We were 5th.
5th. So just because usually it's the team that makes it. They have momentum going into the playoffs. So that'll be.
We had to win last game to get in.
Okay.
And we jumped a place to 5th.
Don't need to talk about Burnley or the playoffs.
Or Sheffield United.
Well, we beat them in the final.
Don't need to talk about Burnley or the playoffs. At Turnbull Scott, if you are watching, please reach out to us and go back to the comment that you left on the YouTube. You're the winner of the Tejon Buchanan jersey, and we've been producer Greg has been trying to reach you through YouTube. So we need to get that jersey to you. So please do look. Otherwise,
I hope this doesn't tell us he's a fair weather fan. He only watches this podcast once a month.
He's gone to great lengths to go on there as well. And
he should be watching more often.
We can't put in this jersey back out again.
But not a chance.
No.
Coveted jersey like that.
What do we do if he can't come and collect it?
He's coming to collect
the nearest
it.
guy, the other
We'll
guy?
find him.
No.
We'll find him.
It's his. We've got to find him. We've got to track him down. So at Turnbull Scott, if you're listening, please get in touch with us and we can get the jersey to you. But for now, that's another episode of Park the Bus, and Kev's off to enjoy St Patrick's Day.
There we go. A few pints. Thanks,
see you
lads.
Thanks for watching Park the Bus. You can catch new episodes every Tuesday, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.